Hello, Americans. I'm Paul Harvey. I was preparing to address a convention of the Farm Bureau, the largest of all organizations dedicated to the quality of rural living. On my desk was a copy of current Farm Bureau policies. As I read about the precepts and the purposes of this organization, I found myself reading about progress based on freedom with responsibility, responsibility based on moral and religious concepts, individual opportunity rather than guaranteed security, helping to elect people who share these fundamental beliefs and principles, and suddenly I realized that I'm reading what dues-paying grassroots Americans have always believed in. In this document, I read specific guidelines on family, national security, law enforcement, property rights. I'm reading an American manifesto, what we stand for.
As a child, I actually became a Farm Bureau member less than a year old. My grandfather was president of Iowa Farm Bureau and bought me a membership.
I have been around Iowa Farm Bureau for a very, very long time, and even during my time as a county auditor.
Started way back many years ago when I came to the association office.
I joined the Farm Bureau in 1971. I've been a member ever since.
1956 was the first year that I joined the Farm Bureau. I think of the Iowa Farm Bureau as being the voice from the grassroots of Iowa. Most importantly, from the standpoint of being a public servant for the people of Iowa in the legislature, in the U.S. House and the U.S. Senate, to feel very satisfied that when the Farm Bureau tells me something, I can count on it.
My personal experience with Farm Bureau started with just the people that were involved that you get to, professionally interact with. But then on a whole nother level, I'm a member of the Farm Bureau.
Farm Bureau is a kind of an organization, they look up to the membership. They don't look down. And that's very unusual, believe me. And that's the whole philosophy of Farm Bureau anyway, is making Iowa a better place to live.
That's the great tradition that Farm Bureau has supported, and that is a family-owned production agriculture that is constantly changing and adjusting to meet the demands of the world economy, but also protecting the quality of the soil, the water, and the air so that future generations will have the same opportunity here on our land.
Pretty much everywhere I've lived, people that make their living from the ground have been grounded themselves, and they understand the value of hard work. They understand the value of dedication. I think the Farm Bureau Network, the whole organization, just the teamwork that's involved, it's been very, very impressive to me, and we're proud to be part of that.
Farm Bureau is so impactful because it does take the thoughts and voices of many and provides one strong, clear, cohesive message for those at the local, the state, and the federal government levels.
I think that property taxes would be much more of a burden for the farming operations in Iowa if it weren't for the Farm Bureau over decades.
On the legislative front, Farm Bureau was a strong supporter of an initiative for establishing a state renewable fuel standard, and by achieving that, then there were incentives to the retailers.
Iowa Farm Bureau Federation has been a leader in agriculture and a servant to its members. Just as farmers 100 years ago couldn't have dreamed of today's agriculture, I think today's farmers would not dream of life without Iowa Farm Bureau.
To be able to have an organization that wakes up every day thinking, how do we share the message of what's happening on the farm with those that don't have an everyday farm experience? It's great to be able to have an organization that can help us tell that story.
So I grew up in a small town in Iowa and have lived in Iowa essentially my entire life, and Farm Bureau has been a very recognizable component to the fabric of the state, and so it's been very impactful to me and my family personally, both through my career and through the work that it does for the state of Iowa and all the citizens in Iowa.
Farm Bureau has also been a great advocate for education. Farm Bureau sponsors the Governor's Scholarship, both the girls' state basketball tournament and the boys' state tournament. So Farm Bureau has been just a great supporter of rural development and diversifying the Iowa economy, as well as supporting education.
FFA would not be who we are without our Farm Bureau partners. Through many initiatives for decades, not just one specific program, but hundreds of programs for many, many, many years, we know Farm Bureau has been there by our side, and we can guarantee that FFA is forever changed in the state of Iowa.
And I think one of the big successes of Iowa Farm Bureau has been their focus on Renew Rural Iowa. And as we think about having a healthy rural Iowa, that means we need to have businesses of all sorts that are there supporting what we do in the agricultural community. This is what is going to keep Iowa strong for the future, and Iowa Farm Bureau has put its investment on the table in a very significant way.
They really understand rural Iowa. They understand that farmer. They understand the needs of that farming community. And they're able to articulate that in a way, whether it's with the legislature or whether it's with programs we're working with at IEDA, to really make that connection so we never lose sight that so much of Iowa's wealth comes from the land.
There's so many components to why the Iowa Farm Bureau has been so successful over the years. And part of that is the grassroots nature of the organization and how their positions are formulated out in the countryside.
They are such a strong voice in representing farmers and families and rural communities and really working to connect and educate with ideas and technology and just each other. If we know nothing else, it's that we have to tell our story. And Farm Bureau has been an advocate and a leader in telling the story of agriculture. They're the face of our farmers, and I could not be more proud than to be the governor of the leading agricultural state in the country. And Farm Bureau has been there every step of the way.
The Farm Bureau has already managed the miracle of leading and speaking for farmers who farm everything from lumber to cattle, to cotton to catfish. The silent majority right now has a valid, established, credible voice. That voice needs only to be amplified. We don't need another organization. Our nation already has too many organizations. What we need is to breathe fire into the belly of this most respected one. What do you say? I will if you will. Good day.
Congratulations on 100 years of people, progress, and pride, but we know that Farm Bureau is always focused on the future and looking at how additional opportunities can be available for the success of Iowa agriculture.
Wow, what you've accomplished is unbelievable. You deserve 100 years of recognition.
Congratulations, Farm Bureau, for reaching this 100-year anniversary milestone. What I know about you is that you're not going to rest on the successes of the past, but you're looking always towards the future.
Iowa FFA owes a great deal of gratitude for your support, and I can say congratulations, and we're here to partner with you for the next 100 years.
Congratulations, Farm Bureau, on your centennial celebration, 100 years of serving Iowa. It's been a great partnership, and thank you for working with Iowa State University to serve Iowa.
I'm just finishing my 20th year doing one thing, so I can't imagine 100 years, but congratulations. That's just a phenomenal feat, and wishing you all the best for the next 100. What you do does count, it is important, and we appreciate it.
Congratulations to Iowa Farm Bureau for reaching the century mark and providing 100 years of services to their members.
Happy birthday to Iowa Farm Bureau. 100 years going strong. Let's go for 100 more. Congratulations.
Happy 100 years, Iowa Farm Bureau. Thank you so much for your advocacy on behalf of our farmers and ranchers. And here's to another 100 more years. Thanks for all you do.
Happy 100-year birthday to the Iowa Farm Bureau. You've done very, very well being the voice of Iowa agriculture for a century.
Congratulations on 100 years of being the voice and the face of Iowa farmers. Proud to have had the opportunity to work with you, and I look forward to continuing to work with you on issues that impact farmers. Congratulations, Farm Bureau. Here's to another 100 years.